Welcome back to the channel for your source of Marvel Strike Force information for players who planned first and spend if there's value there. Often isn't, so most of my advice is useful to free-to-play. My primary game goal is preparing for Dark Dimension 4, team up with Doctor Doom with the Fantastic Four. Hey, maybe game can have some little fun with She-Hulk soon. Nothing about that today, but hopefully learn about that soon. For now, I want to go over the Doctor's Orders Milestones that launched last night, and a quick revisit of Dark Dimension 3, and really just kind of Dark Dimension distilled for anyone that still has questions. But looking at the Doctor's Orders Milestones, to clear all of them, it takes 52,000 points, 52,200. That seems like a big hill to climb. But straight out of the calendar, you get 2,000. That's a combination of campaign energy and whatever those sinister credits are, just for free for logging in during the event. For milestones, you get a little more campaign energy, and we got 200 more campaign energy for whatever went wrong at the launch of the event yesterday. I really don't know what it was. Everything seemed to work fine for me. And then we have 10 days to complete all this, so that leaves, netting that out, it takes a little less than 5,000 a day of those credits to be able to clear the milestones. Well, not all of that has to be blitz. Thank goodness. That's a lot of blitz. Doing those versus PvP milestones, we can get 1750, assuming they pop up every day. I think they will. I mean, they set a good trend with the valuable lessons milestones, so I think the PvP milestones will be coming back, and I'm really glad that they're the balanced PvP, because that quick draw one I thought was terrible. It was just Black Order versus whatever pops up, so I always threw in the weakest team possible and just took my losses and finished fast that way. Daily objectives from Arena and from Raid, we get 700 there. And the campaign energy, this one's actually intentionally conservative. I left it 1,000 because 1,000's about what you can average when you're using 50 core refreshes. You could do hundreds. Might be worth doing hundreds on the days when the campaign energy is going to come in at 240 instead of 120. So this can go higher than that, but that's just my estimate. And that leaves 3,450 of the 5,000. That's a lot more than half can come from things that aren't blitz. That leaves 1,500, of which you get 35 credits per blitz win, and those blitz wins are the same at tier 1 as they are at tier 8. So unless you're pushing for super high score in this electro blitz or whatever, which I pretty much never do anymore, then just stay at tier 1 and reap the benefits. And then you'll need about 44 days. With my roster, that takes about two rotations, and I'm there. I'm already well past that. You can see right now I am at 8,000, which is well more than where we need to be on the first day. The first day, I obviously need like 5,200, so I'm at 8,000. I'm taking a little break. Just say it's very achievable. You don't need to buy any of the offers to be able to complete this with moderate effort. It's not going to take you like grinding away 10 blitz cycles a day or anything like that. This is actually pretty nice. It's different than the Negasonic ones that kind of, I stared at them and I was like, no thanks. But these seemed reasonable at the start. I really, at the end of the day, should have done the Negasonic ones too. They ended up being okay, but this one is okay from the beginning. Just do 2 to 3 blitz cycles. If your roster is not quite as deep, then you may take a few more cycles, but you stay at tier 1. It's not hard, and get all these amazing, 50 ABCs. That's worth 1 million gold right there. Over 1 million gold. 75, that'll be $1.5 million. This is worth a lot. It's another 75, $1.5 million gold is what that means. Obviously getting X-23 shards, Symbiote Spider-Man shards, getting Marrow, all these things are highly valuable as far as improving your roster in this game. So I definitely recommend do the quick PvP battles, do the blitz battles to clear these milestones over the next 10 days. Now the other topic I wanted to revisit on viewer request was checking back in on Dark Dimension. So I'll start with where I am in Dark Dimension 3. So I completed the first run, and I'm currently working through the timed run. I don't core, so I don't refresh even for Phoenix each day. I don't see the point of hurrying, because I can tell you what the biggest mistake that everyone's making right now is, hey, look, I got all these rewards. Let's put it into my roster that I have right now, and maybe that'll work for Dark Dimension 4. Well, if anything that we've learned in Dark Dimension 2 and Dark Dimension 3 is that whatever you think at the beginning is the right team composition isn't. It's not. So wait until we see what the requirements are. Wait until we see how these, characters interact. There will be new characters that launch that'll be more powerful than anything that we have on our rosters right now. That power creep is important. Like what I will show you on the characters that I recommend for using here, pretty much most of them were not available when Dark Dimension 2 launched. So when Dark Dimension 3 came out, gearing them up, getting all that ready, took about a year from when I finished Dark Dimension 2. I finished Dark Dimension 3 for the first time. I'm doing my time run now. Don't really care what the time is. Don't care what the points are on the scoreboard, but I do like harvesting all the rewards in each of these nodes. I'm currently in Global. It does slow down a bit here for these two nodes. It's about being slow, but I also don't want to use the rewards. I'd rather just not have them so they don't burn a hole in my pocket. But yeah, to be able to work through this, I will show the DD3 builder tool again. Let me find that window real quick. So yeah, here we go. The DD3 builder tool. So whenever we were talking about Dark Dimension 2, and I'll start there because if you're finishing Dark Dimension 2 and just starting to plan for Dark Dimension 3, there's a few things involved. So the MVP of Dark Dimension 2 last year, and still great, was Minerva. So I would actually just go ahead and put her on the scoreboard as the first tech project that you should do. I made the mistake of doing both Ultron and Scientist Supreme first. Minerva is the one that needs to join the team. Now, the true MVP of Dark Dimension 3, which is our discussion today, is Phoenix. Now, where am I? I'm terrible at alphabetical order, so we'll put her up there. She owns the first half of this game mode. Like, her dying and her refreshes with her abilities at full and ready to go to do that health steal and the cleanse, if you can do both of those each day, are absolutely the most important contributor to progress for the first half. And while you're doing the first half, you can continue to build your roster for the rest. So if you're smart about how you did Dark Dimension 2, then you have Minerva almost ready with tech. Get Phoenix ready. If you haven't started Dark Dimension 2, or if you're a new player and you're ready to start through all of it, you need to look at the end in mind. So there'll be videos over the next 2 to 3 months, whenever Dark Dimension 4 launches, that help you understand what Dark Dimension 4 needs. Watch those and build that roster for Dark Dimension 1 and 2 and 3 to help you move toward 4 or 5 or wherever we end up. But yep, Phoenix is absolutely the MVP. And for the city nodes, and she is a mutant, so she uses a different set of gear. That is really important to the overall way this whole scenario works. Now, the MVP of city is Symbiote Spider-Man. I went in with just him to start, and he basically just gets wailed on because he doesn't go fast enough. So you really need more than just Symbiote Spider-Man. You're going to need Symbiote Spider-Man and at least Carnage. I have other recommendations past that, but those two are really helpful to get started, because once you start getting characters in the red, Carnage is faster than Symbiote Spider-Man, so you'll be able to get characters to the red faster, and then they start going nuts. Alright, so that's 4. To be able to hit the first node in Dark Dimension 4, you need to be able to have 5 characters. Doesn't matter which 5 characters they are. I'm going to go ahead and unclick Carnage, just because 2 bios makes it even harder. You're going to have to pick something else here. The next one I would recommend is a Mystic. Also really useful for Dark Dimension 2. If you went with a classical team, there is Thanos. I would go ahead and put Thanos in that team, because either Thanos or Ebony Maw in the Mystic category they're both fantastic. And if you had this team of 5, you would do well. One more to add to this, and you could start, actually you could break it into 2 teams. If you went ahead on the global space and add Colossus, you can break into 2 teams, hit that first node twice each day, one with the mutants and then one with everyone else, for an a possibility of some sustain to be able to clear even more. So you do need to split up. I still see no point in leveling any skill characters. I did Nick Fury. He does help some in that he's fast. So there's often times where he could go before most of the other team because he gets a speed up on spawn, much like Shuri does. But I used him speed up on spawn. His summons don't help at all, but his defense up can. So it's a possibility there. Don't recommend any other. I don't really recommend Nick Fury. I don't recommend him. But if you're going to do a skill project, he's probably the one. Past that, we'll go back and add another bio project. The only bio projects you should do are for City. I know that's going to sound weird when you have, like my first one was Invisible Woman, because I had no idea what the gear crunch was. Then I pushed all the buttons and I ran out of everything. And I was like, ruh-roh. And I've been dealing with that same challenge for the last 5 months. And I'm a little more used to it and a little less panicked about it. I would say in the global space, it moves to nice to haves after that. I would do Ultron as the third global. He's a little more useful. He does often get one shot. So he may move out of there. Like when there's Doctor Doom to put in there. Of course, you have to clear all this to get to Doctor Doom. But anyway, he is good when you can hit sustain on a node. Another good one, although you're already too deep on Mystics, is Hela for the cosmic nodes and for the team. Greg is amazing, but look, you're 3 deep, and you're going to be 3 deep in bio. Just go ahead and add Venom here. I do like the only other character that really has had a significant moment for me in the global space has been Mr. Sinister. When you can clone the right character. Let me just find him up here. I'm just terrible at looking through on alphabetical order here. So Strive. So shouldn't Sinister be close to in the S's? Where are you? SH. Am I that crazy? Guess I don't. There he is. Oh, he's under Mr. Put him under Nathan Essex. I don't care. But he's great whenever you can. Like I cloned a Phoenix the other day. That was fun. I hear there's another node where I can clone a Hela. But I honestly think he is omittable. And probably before I'll pull Nathan back out. I think Emma's much better than Nathan in this particular game mode. And let's find her. Oh my goodness. I'm just having a terrible time. Is she not in here? Maybe she's not in here. Emma may not be in this, but she is another Elsa, Emma. All right, yeah, I know how to spell. She's not in this tool, but probably is fantastic. Also not on here is Zemo. Might be good with the damage he does on spawn, but probably not. So I would probably, before Ultron and Nathan, Mr. Sinister, is probably Emma Frost if you've got any decent yellow or red stars. And that's really all you need to do. You really shouldn't take any more past this to gear tier 14. At least until we know what we need for Dark Dimension 4. I mean, there's other reasons to take characters up for Arena and for Ultimus, but specific to Dark Dimension, these are the only ones I'd recommend. And even I could probably pull 2 of these off and be okay. If you had an Emma up here, you could probably take Hela off too, but I think she's great. So that is my follow-up. As soon as we know more about Dark Dimension 4, you can be guaranteed that I'll talk more about it and start figuring out what it takes. You can watch my mistakes. I'm sure I'll make mistakes. I made mistakes this time. I regret doing Scientist Supreme, Ultron first before Minerva. Minerva is definitely the best. These health steals just help a lot. So I do like having Black Bolt out there, but he's really slow. You can't team in with Yo-Yo except for the first few nodes, and you're not going to really need her if you have these other characters to keep going, because Thanos plus Ebony Maw is a bit better than Yo-Yo plus Black Bolt in this particular game mode. Anywho, I appreciate your time today. Go clear all. I'll just swap this out real quick. Go clear all these Doctor's Orders to be able to gear up your characters for Dark Dimension 2 and 3 and begin to hoard things for Dark Dimension 4. Hoard your gold until Emma Frost comes back. I'm really excited to be able to hoard gold and mats again. I enjoyed spending, but man, after 2 months of it, I had an amazing boost to my roster, but I'm kind of ready to take a breather and get ready to be able to, reap the benefits of the next cycle of things. Thanks for your time. I hope this was helpful. Take care, go outside, plant something, and stay safe.